Auschwitz, a name that represents the absolute depth of human cruelty. Survival there wasn't just about luck. It was a battle fought minute by minute, not only with the body, but also with the mind. Drawing from the profound insights of psychiatrist and Auschwitz survivor Viktor Frankl, and also the testimony of Wilhelm Brasse in The Photographer of Auschwitz, we will be exploring on how to survive Auschwitz. Welcome to Surviving Humans, my Sunday series where we explore the darkest times throughout history and where I give you guys tips on how to survive them. Tip number 1. Find your why. The core of Viktor Frankl's philosophy is this. If you have a reason to live, you can bear almost any how. Prisoners who held on to a purpose outside of the camp, for example, a loved one to reunite with, a manuscript to finish, a story to tell the world, they had a psychological anchor. This future-oriented goal gave their suffering meaning and fueled their will to live another day. Without a why, the spirit broke first, and then the body soon followed. Tip number 2. Control your inner world. The SS could take everything from you. Your name, your family, your hair, and your possessions. But Frankl, he realized the one thing that they can never take is your inner freedom. You could always choose your attitude, he said. You could choose to face suffering with dignity, to find a moment of beauty inside the camp, for example, a sunset over the barracks. Or you could also help another prisoner. This final freedom, the choice of how to respond, was the ultimate act of defiance. Tip number 3. Make yourself useful. This was a brutal, practical reality. If you had a skill valued by the SS, your chances of survival increased dramatically. Doctors, tailors, shoemakers, and craftsmen were often assigned to work that was less deadly than other work in the barracks. Being useful meant being, for a time, too valuable to kill. Tip number 4. Master the act of invisibility. In Auschwitz, you did not want to stand out. Drawing attention, whether positive or negative, could have serious consequences. You had to avoid looking too healthy, which could lead to harder work assignments, but you absolutely could not look too weak. Those deemed unfit to work, the so-called Muselmänner, who had lost the will to live, they were sent directly to their deaths. The goal was to be grey, an unremarkable figure who did their job and didn't cause trouble for the guards. Tip number 5. Cultivate a rich inner life. To escape the horrors of the present, prisoners would retreat inside their own mind. Frankl describes mentally reconstructing his manuscript inside his mind. He also imagined having intense conversations with his wife. This power of memory and imagination provided a sanctuary that the camp couldn't touch. It was a way to remind yourself that you were more than your prison number. You were a human being with a past, a soul, and a mind. Tip number 6. Find humor in the absurd. It seems impossible, but Frankl and other survivors noted that a grim sense of humor was a weapon for the soul. The ability to see the absurd, grotesque nature of their situation allowed for a brief moment of detachment. Sharing a dark joke with a prisoner was a way to rise above. Tip number 7. Hold on to humanity through small acts. In a system designed to strip every ounce of decency, a small act of kindness was revolutionary. Sharing a piece of bread, offering a comforting word, Or in Wilhelm Buss's case, trying to make a picture of a prisoner more dignified, these acts, they reaffirmed your humanity inside the camp. Tip number 8. Live day by day. Frankl, he observed a grim pattern. The ones that died all of a sudden were oftentimes the optimists. They were convinced that they were going to be liberated on a certain date. For example, some people had the belief that next Christmas they would be home. And when this date arrived and they were still imprisoned, Frankl saw that they lost all hope. When they lost the mental hope, their bodies soon followed. The most resilient prisoners, they avoided this kind of deadline-driven hope. They lived day by day. They were focused on surviving the next selection, the next bowl of soup, the next 24 hours. Tip number 9. Look healthier than you are. During selection, the inspections by the SS, doctors like Josef Mengele literally decided between life and death. So, appearance was everything. Testimonies from survivors tell of the desperate acts that they did to look more healthy. They would pinch their cheeks to make them red and appear more alive. They would stand as straight as possible and even use a shard of glass to shave. Looking alive, even when you felt dead inside, could buy you some time. Tip number 10. Find a comrade. No one survived Auschwitz alone. Having at least one trusted friend or comrade could make a world of difference. You could share some food, provide each other emotional support when needed, share information. This bond, this mutual connection to survival, was often the thread that pulled people through the darkest of times. The survival of anyone in Auschwitz was a near miracle. But these 10 strategies that we saw today show us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can find light in purpose, freedom in choice, and life in the bonds that we form with one another. It's a lesson not just about history, but about the resilience we all carry inside of us. This was today's episode of Surviving Humans. I'll hope to catch you guys in the next episode next Sunday. Bye.